Hi everyone, welcome to my video on the top 10 card art for the Pokemon Trading Card Game, Gym Heroes set. Today we're focusing on the first set to feature Gym Leader Pokemon called Gym Heroes. This set is devoted to the first 4 Gym Leaders from the Kanto region of the original games and featured 132 new cards, which made it by far the biggest set ever to be released at that point. Let's get into it. At number 10 we have Brock's Manky. I'll move pretty quickly through number 10 as you probably could have thrown a number of cards in this spot, but what I like about this card is the Manky's expression and the grainy, shadowy background. The Manky doesn't look too happy that we've stumbled upon his forest home, which is a strange place to be when you think about the fact that this is Brock's Manky, and I don't ever remember him even having one in the show. At number 9 we have Lieutenant Serges Treaty. I think this is the first time I've ever featured a trainer card in one of these top 10 lists. I have no idea what's going on in the background here, but the colors are bright and there's something interesting about the fact that the gym leader is shaking hands with one of his own Pokemon. Sometimes with card art they name the card after seeing the art the artist made, and sometimes they give the artist the name of the card and ask them to draw something. I would assume this is the latter, but I still remain curious what the artist was imagining happening in this scenario when he created this. At number 8 we have Misti's Tentacruel. I think it was a smart choice to add a yellow hue around this Pokemon to help it stand out against the dark maroonish purplish background. Something about this card looks super cool, but it does lose a few points for me for not being a card I associate with Misty at all, and because the proportions are a bit wacky. I think it's hard to tell that this Tentacruel is 5 feet long, and I think that could have been better portrayed with a real world background rather than a generic hollow one. At number 7 we have Rocket's Moltres. We're looking a little chicken-like here if you just focus on the body and the head, but it's still a cool looking card. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that this Moltres is seemingly dabbing, although we can recognize that dabbing didn't really exist as we know it today in the year 2000 when this set came out. The bright reds and yellows stand out nicely against this cool, dark, starry background. Beyond the card, when you look at the stats, this is an example of how weak some Pokemon were in the early cards. 60 HP for a legendary Pokemon is extremely low, and you wouldn't see anything like that today. At number 6 we have Rocket's Snorlax. Now we're starting to get into the good art. I laughed to myself a little bit thinking about this card as a hollow. It would definitely be very out of place. It has such a plain background, and it's a strange bit of art, but it totally fits this Pokemon. Snorlax is clearly passed out after a real food and sugar bender, and there's something unique and comical about the Pokemon lying belly down in the frame. I'm a big fan of this card and find Snorlax to be an endearing Pokemon. At number 5 we have Sabrina's Venomoth. What I love about this art is it looks like the Venomoth has discovered a photographer in the field and has come in very close to the lens to investigate. The pollen floating in the air is a nice touch, and the environment looks quite detailed. Even with the Venomoth being this close to the camera, you do get a sense of its size. Some Pokemon you'd expect to be bigger and some you'd expect to be smaller, and a Venomoth is one you definitely expect to be smaller when you realize that it's actually almost 5 feet tall. At number 4 we have Brock's Sandhrew. This is the first art we've talked through that I truly love from this set. This Sandhrew looks pensive, and he's staring out into the horizon as the sun sets over this cliff edge. The artist has done a lot here only using browns, tans, and oranges, and sets a scene where the viewer will try to imagine what this Pokemon may be thinking. The show did a nice job of setting up some emotional or make you think moments, and what I like about this art is it reflects that same sort of tone. At number 3 we have Lieutenant Serges Sparrow. The fact that I have this art so highly probably will surprise some people, especially compared to the Moltres card we saw earlier. There's something that feels different about this art relative to most of the other Pokemon from the first generation. We haven't gotten many action shots in real-world backgrounds like this. The Sparrow is glancing behind him as he jets away from something, likely a predatory Pokemon of some kind. Again, I'm surprised the set designers went a little off the book with the selection of certain Pokemon for certain gym leaders, but sometimes that kind of deviance ends up working out, and I feel like it did in this case. At number 2, we have Erikas Dragonair. I've featured a Dragonair card on multiple of my lists now, and there's something about the mystical Pokemon that prompts authors to create some awesome backgrounds. The dark orange streak in the middle of the background really stands out, and that, along with the brownish blackish color on the sides, looks more like some kind of foreign planet than anything you'd find on Earth. The striped colors here remind me of gas planets like Jupiter or Saturn, and that sort of outer space vibe totally fits for this rare, elusive dragon type Pokemon. At number 1, we have Rocket's Scyther. Scyther is an awesome Pokemon, and I believe this was only the second version of it to show up in the trading card game after the base set. The red and green swirled, blotchy background looks amazing, and even better in person, and this Scyther looks more like a bug dragon type than a bug type alone. The fact that this is a Team Rocket Scyther may subtly make it look a little more menacing, especially given how lethal the blades on the arms look. I would love to have a PSA 10 version of this card, but for now I'll have to settle having it at the number 1 spot in my rankings. Well, that's it for today's video. For such a huge set, I think it's a little lacking in standout artwork, especially as compared to the Team Rocket set in my last video. Fortunately, that's not the case for the next video in my series, which features some amazing cards from the last 4 gym leaders from the Kanto region. If you disagree with my rankings or think there's some awesome art I missed, please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a good one, you guys. See you next time.